Hi, my name is Angela Ruiz, and this is my e-portfolio presentation for the University of Kansas. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. I am still currently living in Kansas City and love the diversity the city brings with it. I graduated from the University of Missouri, Kansas City in 2014 with my Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education. I am currently certified in Missouri for grades 1st through 6th. My experience in education has all been embedded in urban education. I was able to student teach in 3 different urban school districts, including Kansas City, Kansas School District, Hickman Mills School District, and Kansas City, Missouri School District. This is where my love for urban school settings blossomed. I loved being in the city and working with students from all walks of life. After graduation, I worked at a Kansas City, Missouri charter school where I taught 3rd and 4th grade and taught Title I. In September of 2017, I had my second child and decided to take this year off to focus on family and completing my master's degree. The standard I chose to focus on is CAEP Standard 4.2. This standard states that the learner will effectively apply the professional knowledge and skills to P12 teaching. I chose to highlight this area because I feel the standard and artifacts relate to multiple standards that were accomplished within this program. The artifacts I chose to highlight for this standard were really engaging for me, and I could see myself implementing those plans and strategies in the classroom. The first artifact is taken from the course Curriculum and Teaching 770, Pedagogical Considerations in the 21st Century Classrooms. This course was focused on current theories and instructional ideas that 21st century students would benefit from. In this course, we were assigned a project called the Challenge by Design project. This project asked us to identify a learning environment, identify a challenge the school or students face, and design a plan of action for this issue, making sure to infuse the use of technology. I chose to use an example from my previous work environment in choosing an issue my students faced. The challenge I chose to focus on was that families in our community did not have easy access to affordable, healthy food. This is due to a lack of grocers, transportation, family size, and low income. This is a concern that many different communities face. This project proposal asks that students become problem solvers and active members in their community. Essentially, the students researched and built their own garden plot on school grounds. The garden plots would be built by volunteers. This project incorporated mathematics such as measurement, graphing, geometry, and counting. The students would be doing a lot of reading, mostly informational text in various formats such as online and hard text. Writing was a large aspect of this project as well. Students would journal daily, take notes, and write presentations. Naturally, gardening also allows itself to many science topics. It was a very hands-on project. It asked that the students work in groups and be responsible for their own learning and care for their gardens. They utilized technology by researching, graphing information, taking pictures, and building presentations. The project also included other community members as their families and such as their families and local organizations such as Kansas City Community Gardens. Including community members allows the students to learn more about their community and become aware of the resources that are available to them. The students would host a mini farmers market at school, and they would share their presentations with their families. The ideal outcome would be that students are able to take what they learned from their research and experiences and create their own garden at home to eat from. Doing this could help families have access to more fresh fruits and vegetables. This project allowed me to be creative in creating a project that would interest my 21st century classroom. I liked how I had to analyze issues within my community and help work towards a solution. Implementing this project seemed very realistic to me. I helped lead our school's garden club last year, and I saw firsthand how excited my students were. We had an overwhelming number of applications, and we weren't able to accommodate them all. The school decided to focus on fourth grade students. The students who returned permission slips stayed after school and learned about gardening basics while they planted and managed their own garden beds. They did a great job in taking responsibility and pride in their garden. The students loved checking on and maintaining their garden, measuring the growth, and eating their harvest. Many of the students were trying at least one new vegetable that they had never heard of before. The students would even request to go check on their garden during lunch on days where they don't stay for garden club. I think this project would be really meaningful to implement with a whole class during school hours in today's classroom. I believe it teaches great life skills and lessons while lending itself to meeting multiple state standards. The second artifact for CAEP Standard 4.2 came from the course Curriculum and Instruction 803, Differentiating Curriculum and Instruction. This course focused on how educators can adjust their instructional strategies, methods, and resources to accommodate all learners in their classrooms. Differentiation is very important to me as an educator. The last class I had hosted a wide variety of learning abilities. I had some fourth grade students reading on a first grade level, while others were reading at a sixth grade level. I was always working to find ways to accommodate all the learners in a manner that empowers the students. I would find ideas on the internet, ask my fellow teachers and instructional coach for their ideas on how I can provide the most supportive, differentiated learning environment I could for my students. I wanted to make sure I was meeting the needs of all and not just a select few. This class gave me new ideas and strategies on how to meet the needs of all those learners. This artifact was a group project focused on the differentiation strategy, complex instruction. The strategy of complex instruction was new to me, and I thought this research project was a great way to build knowledge on the topic. This strategy is focused on creating equal student participation and providing each student with equal learning opportunities. In my past experience, I have created group projects that I felt were engaging and standard targeted, and later realized that not all students put in an equal or fair amount of work. There would be times I would ask a particular student what aspect of the project they contributed to, and they were unable to tell me. It was disheartening as an educator to feel some of my students didn't gain anything from a project that I provided them. I really like the idea of using complex instruction for group projects in the future. Planning for group projects using this strategy helps increase productivity and participation from all learners. When creating assignments or group roles, it is important for me to differentiate them for different abilities. It isn't uncommon to have a class where student ability can greatly differ, and I expect that my future classrooms will be the same. It is important that all learners, regardless of their academic ability, can make a meaningful contribution to the work that is being asked of them. Assigning roles or tasks within a group can provide a sense of ownership and responsibility for each member involved. This strategy allows the students to utilize their strengths and be able to produce their best work. This provides all students with a great example of how all students have equally important input and help students learn to depend on one another to be successful together. It is versatile enough to where you can use it in any subject or grade level. I love that one aspect of complex instruction is that teachers recognize and treat status problems in the classroom. It is our job as educators to make sure that every student feels that their contribution is meaningful and necessary for success. I want them to understand that what they have to offer is not only important in the classroom, but important for life outside of school as well. While planning for complex instruction can be time-consuming, I believe the students benefit from the structure and extra time spent on planning will be well worth it. I know seeing my students taking ownership of their learning and participating with their peers will be very rewarding. The research for this project and discussions with my peers allowed me to get some great ideas for how to implement complex instruction and assess my students and their learning styles. We found great resources such as readings and videos that I'm sure I will be referring back to regularly. My peers and I also put together Padlet boards with ways in which we can use this in the classroom, which I will also pull ideas from. While I currently stay at home, I really can't wait to incorporate these ideas and strategies in my future classroom. Upon completing the program here at the University of Kansas, I would like to return to the classroom. Taking a year off of teaching allowed me to put a lot of thought and effort into reflecting on my teaching practice. I feel I was able to reflect on what was working and what I want to change in the future. I would like to go back to work in an urban school setting. I would like to go back into the elementary classroom as a teacher again for a couple years. I want to take the information, skills, and strategies I learned in this program and put them into practice. Once I feel I am back to feeling comfortable in the classroom, I would like to become an instructional coach. In order to coach other educators effectively, I feel like I need to go back to the classroom for a while to prepare myself. This program has allowed me to reevaluate my practices and implement new, theoretically based strategies and ideas with a purpose in my future classroom.